Welcome to my podcast. You are more. I'm your host, Amy, and I couldn't be more excited than to be doing this episode right now. This is an episode that I've thought about over the last couple years of when would I ever do it? How would I ever do it? What would I say? What would I do? And I've just been thinking about things because everyone has things in their life where they're just like their points of absolute like they're so distinct. They leave you with a changed life. Like it's forever changed, right? Those points of distinction and those turning moments, those moments where literally everything shifts. And those kind of defining moments, right? That's probably a better way to say it. Those defining moments. And I've been in the real estate business for 30 years and I have loved the community I'm in. I have been so blessed, and the community has been so good to me and to my company, um, and it's been a huge passion of mine. But I want to talk to you about a defining moment that changed the trajectory of my life. And I've decided that I would disclose this today because I feel like there's people out there that need to hear it. There's people that need the hope from it. There's people that need to know that you can overcome. You have a purpose. There's a plan for you. And so this defining moment um, were three words that changed my life. Three words that literally changed my life. And they were, you have cancer. Unless you've sat in that seat and heard those words spoken over you, unless you've walked through and experienced it personally, even as family members, you get it. As people close to people that have heard those words are three words you never want to hear. And I heard those words, and at the time, my kids were 6; they're now 8. And here's the thing: I sat there thinking. I said to my doctor, who I had amazing care. I said, "Hey, here's the deal. I have 6-year-old twins." And he goes, I know, Amy. I got you." Those words that day literally took everything to a different level in my life. So backtrack, okay? So I had just celebrated my kid's 6th birthday. Their birthdays are December 17th. And we had been in Florida and we just had the most fun day um, in Disney. And it was a great day. And some friends of mine and I were sitting outside. The kids were all in bed. We're sitting outside, and the skies are blue and full of stars. And it's just like a beautiful night, right? And I looked at a friend of mine. I said, "My greatest prayer," because guys, I'm older. Like I had kids when I'm 43. And now they're 8. You can do the math, right? Anyway, but my greatest prayer, I said to her, was that God would extend my life to live well into my kids' adult years. And she just looked at me like, "Huh?" And who would have thought that a week later I would be getting ready for Christmas and find a lump in my breast? I literally saw a shadow. And the pit in my stomach that hit, was like it immobilized me. So I spent that Christmas and the days after Christmas, like, literally tormented by it. And I tried to reason with it. I tried to think it's something else and it's no big deal and speak positive and talk positive. But I had this feeling. And so, when that prognosis came forth, I w there's no words to prepare because everything shifts in your life immediately. For those that have lost kids or spouses or whatever, like, instantaneously your life changes and it's not the same. And while I have a great report and I have a good prognosis and I'm doing so very well, those 3 words still change your life because at that moment, you look at your life, you look at every part of your life and you say to yourself, "Huh, am I doing everything I want to do on this earth? If would leave this earth today, would I be happy with what I accomplished?" And I'm not talking about accomplished like in material stuff, guys. Like like I've accomplished great things in this industry and I've had so much fun doing that. But would the impact that my life made, would I be happy with it where it's at today? And my resounding answer was an emphatic no. It was no. I would not be happy with what I've done. And not because I didn't serve my clients well, not because we didn't have a great team, and not because we hadn't achieved a lot of things, but because I had not fulfilled my God given purpose on this earth. And I knew it. There starts the war. There starts the inner struggle, right? Like literally, when you receive those kinds of words, I walked through that situation with a great tribe of friends, but I kept it really close. I didn't want anyone speaking negative. I didn't want to hear anything negative. I just kept it really close. And um but I've felt like I have walked through with people and sat there in their living room and they've talked about situations that they're going through, and I just sit there and I'm like, and I'll, um not many of them I ever shared that with, and then I'll say, "Man, I'm sorry walking through that." And there was times when I was in listing appointments and closings and stuff like that, and I'm like, "Man, if anyone knew what my world was right now, wow." But isn't that true of so many people? Like, if you walk around your life, you're like, "If anyone knew what my real world was right now, what would they even be thinking? If anyone knew what I was really dealing with right now." And I just found that, for me at the time, that's how I had to handle it. Um, for the industry I'm in, for everything, I just felt like it was the best way to handle it. But I walked through this process, and this process has brought a few years of just really like honing in on, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? And the more that I get into that, the more I'm compelled to move forward in what I'm moving forward into. And that is, I'm just saying yes to every opportunity that I feel led to go to, right? Any opportunity to speak at anything, I'm speaking. Because the reality of it is we're given one life and one shot. And if you're not emphatically just who you are, like, that's not fun. If you're living life to please other people, if you're living life for the crowd's approval, guys, that's not a good end game. It leaves you torn up on the inside. And I always say real estate agents are the greatest people pleasers on the earth. You want to make everybody happy. Like, I want to make everybody happy. I want to love everybody. I want to make them happy. I want to super serve them. But all along, there's this inner calling. Amy, Amy, do this. Start the podcast. Do this thing. And I had had those feelings, right? I had had those feelings moving along, and I had launched it, but I was launching it like just treading like very lightly. And I have just made some decisions because this has brought such a clarity that you don't know what your life holds. You don't know what the next days hold. So my intention and my purpose is set. It's set every single day. I will make an impact on the people that I have involvement with. I will sow into their life. I will give into their life. I will reach out. I will be impactful and do the best I can to lighten someone's load, to put a smile on their face, to show care and concern, and to literally lift somebody else. Like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that every single day. That is every single. I have a checklist when I get in bed at night. Who did I impact today? Did I have positive interactions with people today? Who did I lift today? Who did I speak over today? Who did I pray with today? Guys, it's like a ticker tape for me. Like, I look at that. Like, how did I do? Yeah, I have a list a mile long of things that I needed to accomplish. But what is my top priority is, who did I impact? Who did I positively impact today? And are there days that I don't positively impact people and I probably upset them and tick them off? Sure, we all have those, right? But to the best of my ability, my to the best of my ability, my core is, how can I be whatever I'm involved in, whatever I have anything to do with, how can it make a difference? How can it have impact? How can it change lives? And I've just been walking through this process, and some people are like, "Man, Amy, you sure are talking about a lot of, mindset things and heart things." But I think it's the essence of life, and so I can't help but do it, right? And so even as I'm recording this podcast, I'm dreaming about the future, and As excited I am, because I'm really excited about where I'm going as a real estate company. I'm excited about the opportunities that lie ahead of us. I'm excited for my team members. I'm excited about all of that. I have this whole other vein that I'm like, God, you put me on this planet for a purpose. Let's go. I'm going to say yes to the things that I want to say yes to and I feel led to do. And if people are like, "Oh, that offends me. I don't like that." I'm really sorry, right? I'm really sorry. But there's times when I feel like I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I got that second opportunity to say, man, Amy, it could have gone, what if it would have gone a different direction, right? And so while we've been given this life, I'm saying to you today, you have no idea when that kind of a report could enter your life. And I don't prophesy that over you at all, but I'm saying you to live this life like we have all this time, to live this life like, you know, I don't know, that everything's all this surfacey stuff is such a big deal. At the end of the day, it's not. And I'll go on record. I mean, I love success. I love success. I think we're created for growth. I think we're created to the things that we touch are blessed and they prosper. We're created that way. God's a creator. We're created that way. We're created in his image. So he's a creator, we're a creator. And I believe in that. I believe in having an impact on that. But guess what? I believe in meeting the need of someone at their heart level, bringing inspiration to them at a deeper level other than just a surface level. You've noticed I've been talking about conversations that don't interest me are conversations. I don't want to sit and gossip about somebody. I don't want to sit and get the like what they call it, spilling the tea or so to speak. Like, hey, we got to spill the tea. Let me know what's going on with that. Like that's just not my vein. I have no interest in it. But it's not that I don't have fun in life. It's not that I don't laugh and not do that. But I am very intentional. And my intent is to make an impact. When you get those words spoken to you, you start to literally analyze and question everything. And what first starts out to be a crisis, ultimately, if you perceive it correctly, if you enter it as to what is the purpose of this, it ultimately ends up being a great teacher and a great gift. And I'll never forget this. About 6 months ago, I hopped on a flight and I'm always taking notes. And I'm not the person that hops on a flight and takes a nap, or I'm not the person that hops on the flight and watches TV. Like, I'm like, okay, I got to work on some podcast content. I got to read a self improvement book. I've got some things to work on. I'm always working on stuff. It's just how I'm wired. And I hopped on there and I'm like, Lord, thank you. Thank you. And I started to think about what that diagnosis took from me. And believe me, it created so much stress. Guys, I have never had a Xanax in my life until that diagnosis. And I literally, I don't know how I would have slept for a few months without having that. So I'm so thankful for medicine. I've never ever been on that stuff. But literally it was like, oh, thank God. Sleep couldn't come to me soon enough. I buried myself. I was like, just let me sleep. Let me wake up. And I can't believe I'm living in this bad dream. Right. But I'm just telling you that when I sat there and looked at that, I'm like, okay, it created so much anxiety, so much stress. It took from me a bit in other areas, but what did it give me? What was the gift in it? Hmm. The gift is I see people different. I am different when I'm in their presence. I see them. It has brought clarity, clarity of purpose, clarity of where am I going, what am I doing, and what's the impact that we're making. Life is not all just about, oh, I just want to make so much money. I want to make so much money. Guess what? That's a byproduct. That's a byproduct of being a good human being and serving people really well. But that's not the end game. And if you're chasing that as an end game, I am so sorry to tell you, it is going to be the most empty, sad life. It is completely empty. Now, I'd rather have it than not have it. But if that's just your end game to just chase money, it will run from you like you can't believe, and it will leave you empty. I love money. You know why I love money? People say, "Oh, you love money." I love that what you can do with money. I love money to be a vehicle to create good. I love it to be a channel to create goodness, right? So I have no issues with that. But I'm just saying, if you're chasing money to chase money, you're going to end up like this is an empty life. But if you really start to hone in and listen to yourself, like I'm a big person that says, you know what? You have to spend time by yourself because you have to just know where you're going. But if you get really quiet, and sometimes it's hard to get quiet anymore in this busy, noisy world with everything coming at you. But if you get quiet in the quietness, you're going to hear your next step. There's a scripture that I hang on to, and it's kind of become my life verse because I'm in the midst of so much stuff going on in the real estate industry, and I have this personal passion going on the side, and I'm a mom and I'm a wife, and I like to be involved in different things. And here's what I keep hearing: as thou goest, step by step by step, I will open up the way before you. He's going to do it. He's going to open the doors. It takes the pressure off, guys. He's going to make it a way for us. He is going to open the doors. Today, as I was even thinking about this podcast, even thinking about talking about this, it was really because I was talking about clarity. I spent much of my day clarifying things, figuring out just clarifying things, right? And so much peace comes when you clarify things. It can be a scary thing to clarify things because you realize what you don't want to do anymore and you realize what you're 100% committed to. But such clarity comes, and there's such a gift in clarity. There's a gift in clarity. Is everyone that's with you going to stay with you? Maybe not. Things may fall off your life. But here's the thing: if they fall off your life, they were not meant to go into your next season with you. So that's also a gift, right? They just weren't. They were not prepared to go into your next season with you. They could. Something about them couldn't handle it. They weren't aligned to you. So if you're sitting there thinking, man, people are leaving my life, things are happening, all this stuff's going on. You know what I say? That's a good sign. That seems contrary to what anyone else would say, would it? That's a good sign. When things are exiting your life and you're feeling like you're in transition and things are exiting, take heart and take hope. You know why? That means you are getting ready to move into a different level. Yep. Here's the thing. Anyone listening to this podcast is a pursuer, is someone that's always about continued growth. And when things start to fall off your life and things start to shift, it feels awful and it feels awkward and it feels lack and it feels yuck and it feels all this stuff, right? And you can get in your head. But if you really look at it, it's all part of a process because I truly believe this in everything. You can't lose. You can't lose. If you have a life that is committed to God, you can't lose, right? He is going to work all things together for your good. All things. Not some things, all things. All things are going to work together for your good. And so when I think about the process that I've walked through over the last couple years, man, I can identify with people at a much higher emotional level because I've walked through it. I appreciate things at a completely different level. I value people at a different level. And I'm 100% focused on my mission on this earth with extreme clarity. As clear as much as you can be today. Because I just know every day I'm like, okay, you're going to open doors for me. And every door you open for me, if I feel good about it, I'm stepping into it. And I would challenge you this day. Don't wait till a life crisis hits you. Don't wait till something happens and you're like literally left. Take action today. Step away from the crowd today. Create your own defining moment where you just go and you meet and you figure out, you write down and you clarify where it is you want to go with your life. Write it down. Writing is powerful. Write it down. Write where you want to go. Where do you see yourself? Your circumstances might not look anything like where you want to go. You might be living a life that doesn't even feel like the life you want to be living. And I would say to you, if you're living a life you don't want to be living, change the narrative. Here's the reality of it. When your perception changes, the situation changes. When how you perceive a situation changes, it all changes, right? Perceptions are so powerful. So write it down. If you're not living the life you want to be living today, Write it down. Just start writing. Because you're gonna walk through and you're gonna read that and you go, oh, there's a common theme here. There's a common theme here. I don't know what I'm on this earth to do, but there's a common theme here. And start to walk in that. Are you gonna lose some friendships? You might. That might be the cost of admission, right? You might lose some relationships. But I have to tell you something. Let it fuel your fire. Let it be a rocket booster to you. Because the opinions of others, I'm gonna just challenge you to live bold in who you are, to be authentically you. And guess what that takes? A whole heck of a lot of courage. And that's coming from me, who literally I love to please people. I don't want to ruffle the feathers. I want to please you. I want you to be happy. I want you to like me. But at the end of the day, like there is such a power and such a stability when you're just like, no, I'm just going to be authentically me. Is everyone going to like me? No. I wish they would, but they won't. But guess what? Right now, even now in the midst of all that we've got going on, like if you're authentically who you are, you're going to draw the right people to your life. I'm drawing different people to my life than I've ever drawn because I'm stepping into who I'm actually am. I'm walking in more of who I actually am. No, I'm not going off the rails. I'm not some different person, but I'm just being I'm being open about who I am as a person. Some people it makes nervous. Some people are like, "What the heck's going on?" But the reality of it is I'm drawing different people to my life. The seasons are shifting because I've been given a gift. I've been given a gift to write a different story. I've been given a gift to have a new start, a fresh start, a more impactful start. And for that, I'm so grateful. If there's someone out there that you know that's they're walking through hell. They're walking through a life crisis. Their whole entire world is turned upside down. I just have one thing that I hope that this would encourage somebody to take heart. Take heart. He's going to turn things for your good. I don't know how it turns for your good. That's a scripture I've never understood. He's going to take that which is meant for my evil and turn it for my good. But I've used that so much in my life. Somehow you're going to turn this for my good. Somehow there's something coming out of this that you are turning for my good. You're turning it for my good. And when I come out of this, I'm going to be more impactful. When I come out of this, I'm going to be more effective. When I come out of this, and that's how you have to think, I'm coming out. I'm going to come out of this. There are going to be brighter days. There's going to be days when I'm not weighed down with the weight of this. There's going to be days where I feel better. There's going to be days where I have hope. There's going to be days where I can laugh again. There's going to be days where I can have joy again. There's going to be days where I can be lighthearted again. There's going to be days where I can dream again. Guys, all those things are stages and they're all processes, but there's going to be days. So I'm going to tell you to live authentically you. Be bold, be courageous, be you. Because here's the reality of it, guys. You are on this earth because you are more. You're created for more. You're created for more impact. You're created to literally grow and create and impact and do. My year of 2023 probably is impact. How can I make the greatest impact in the world that we live in today? So be bold, be brave, be authentically you because you're on this earth, because you're created for more. You are more.